Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about negotiation do's and don'ts. There's a lot of misconceptions about negotiating for your salary, and that can set the stage early on in your career to undervalue what your worth is as a skilled worker. Negotiation is a way to tell your employer that you respect them, but also that you know your own worth in the job market today. It's really important that you're compensated fairly because this sets the stage for your future raises, your bonuses, your annual bonus, as well as any sign-on bonuses that you may ask for. It's a business transaction at the end of the day. They aren't doing you any favors. The biggest confusion comes from understanding what part of your total compensation is actually negotiable, as well as the types of leverage you can use in order to come to a mutual understanding. Today, we'll unpack some of that mystery. But before we get to that, please like and subscribe if you want to see more content about technology and travel. I really appreciate it, as well as all of your comments that you leave. It helps me set the stage for my future videos and gives me motivation to continue making more. So with that, let's get started. So before we dive into the do's and don'ts of negotiating, I wanted to break down a little bit more about what exactly that total compensation package is. Depending on the company that you'll be working for, your total compensation is typically broken up into your base salary, RSUs, sign-on bonus, as well as an annual bonus, which can be performance-based or company performance-based. So a sign-on bonus is a financial award offered by a business to a prospective employee as incentive to join a company. This may consist of a one-time payment, a lump sum cash payment over time, and/or stocks. And this is negotiable. So RSUs are restricted stock units. This is when a company commits to giving an employee a certain amount of stocks based on a certain requirement. So there's typically a vesting schedule for these type of stocks, and the most common vesting schedule is 4 years, where 25% vests every single year. So let's say an employer says they'll give you $200,000 over 4 years, but 25% will vest each year. So you'll basically get $50,000 a year. But make sure to read the fine print, because with RSUs and sign-on bonuses, if you do not complete a full year, you usually have to give that sign-on bonus back, or you just don't end up receiving your RSUs for that year. Your base salary doesn't change. That's a fixed number that they give you, and your annual bonus is typically a percentage of that base salary. Your annual bonus can be around 20% of your base salary, and depending on the company, it's either performance-based or company performance-based. There's also some other benefits that can be negotiated, such as time off. Make sure you read more about your company's benefits, because typically the total compensation isn't the entire picture. There's other benefits such as health and wellness, as well as time off, that you may want to consider in that entire package. For example, my company also gives $10,000 a year if you're a student, and they also give $1,200 a year for anything related to health and wellness. So just make sure you know exactly what you're getting. Okay, so let's get into the negotiation do's and don'ts. Do plan ahead. The common mantra as an employee is always negotiate. And okay, yes, always negotiate, but you need to be prepared for pushback. Don't just demand $1 million when you don't have solid evidence for actually deserving that $1 million. Go to levels.fyi if it's a well-known company. You can search for your company and then filter by level and location. Some people even list their years of experience. You can then take the average of the most recent salaries as a starting point. Keep in mind that negotiating for RSUs and sign-on bonuses are easier than negotiating for higher base salaries. But they do go away eventually, so if you're confident you'll get promoted within that time and be awarded a higher stock and base salary, definitely play with the numbers accordingly. Don't tell them your current salary. This is probably the worst thing that you can do. By telling your future employer your current salary, you're setting a limit for yourself. If your company knows that you make $100,000, then in their mind, a 20% raise is a fair salary. In reality, inflation has risen by 6%. Software engineers are very scarce in this market, and salaries are being inflated a lot right now. Don't set a limit for yourself by disclosing the amount of money you make. Instead, if they ask, respectfully decline and ask them for their range for that specific role. Do use leverage. This goes hand in hand with planning ahead. The more leverage you have, the more likely a company will be willing to be flexible. If you have multiple interviews and you end up landing your dream job, still go through with the interviews. You want their offers in order to let your dream company know that you're still very much in demand. This will not only make you look like a good candidate, but it will also ensure that you have leverage towards negotiating for a higher total compensation. And other offers aren't the only leverage that you have to use. Talk about how much value you added to your employer in your previous roles. If you took on the responsibility of leading a project, of mentoring other engineers, or even setting the direction for your team to use specific technologies, let your employer know. They really want to hear those things. Don't prepare only to talk yourself down in the actual negotiation. All of this preparation won't mean much if you don't stand your ground. Be calm and don't be too expressive when they give you a number. After coming back with a counteroffer, don't say things like, I know I asked for X, but I'm okay if you give me Y. Or, money isn't the most important thing to me. No, it is important. It does set the stage for your future raises, your bonuses, the amount of RSUs that you can receive, as well as your performance bonus. It's literally the easiest way to make an extra $50,000 in 5 minutes. Do be grateful. I know this sounds contradictory to my previous advice of this company doesn't owe you any favors, but you'll hopefully be working for them in the future. So you don't want to start off on a bad foot. Negotiation is like a dance. You both want to harmoniously get to the point that you're both comfortable with. Being thankful and putting yourself in the employer's shoes will only make them trust you more. Being thankful goes a long way in their flexibility towards your demands. Don't worry about the offer getting rescinded. Unless you're overly aggressive or rude, you shouldn't worry about your offer being rescinded. They expect you to negotiate. And in fact, if you don't negotiate, what does that say about you when you're hired and have to negotiate on their behalf for other things? If a company actually rescinds their offer, do you really want to work there in the first place? I know that's a really privileged thing to say, but it's worth the risk when you look at the market and see that software engineers are very scarce. Companies are desperate to hire. So don't worry about an offer getting rescinded unless you're acting in a way where they have to rescind the offer because they don't trust you or they don't feel comfortable negotiating with you. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you liked it. This kind of drew on my own experiences while I was negotiating previously a couple of months ago, and I thought it would be nice to kind of demystify some of the do's and don'ts of this process. I kind of went in as an amateur and I'm hoping to learn more as well, so please leave a comment below on what you think is the best way to strategize and negotiate your salary. Do you think these points are the most important, or do you think I was missing anything? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.